In 1964, the nation was still reeling from the shock and sadness of President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Because of this unsettled national sentiment, incumbent President Lyndon B. Johnson found himself in a race against Barry Goldwater, a hardline conservative senator from Arizona. At the time, a number of pressing issues dominated the public discourse. Civil rights, economic prosperity, and the ongoing challenges of the Cold War were at the forefront. Johnson, positioning himself as a candidate of progress and stability, sought to inherit and extend Kennedy's legacy. In contrast, Goldwater was seen by many as an extremist, especially because of his hardline policies and his controversial stance on the new Civil Rights Act. The fear of nuclear war also loomed large over this campaign. With memories of the Cuban Missile Crisis still fresh in everyone's mind, the potential for a nuclear showdown was a frightening reality that both candidates had to address. In this election, Johnson's campaign mastered the art of political communication. They skillfully manipulated slogans and visual paraphernalia to craft an image of a steady, reliable leader, a stark contrast to what they portrayed as Goldwater's extremist views. This approach was not only about promoting policies, it was about tapping into Cold War anxieties and leveraging the growing influence of mass media. The campaign's reliance on emotional and fear-based appeals set a precedent that has influenced political messaging ever since. Now let's take a closer look at one of the key elements of Johnson's campaign, the slogan, "The stakes are too high for you to stay at home." This slogan was a direct call to action for voters. It wasn't just a clever phrase, it was a deliberate strategy designed to underscore the seriousness of the choice facing Americans. By suggesting that voting could have catastrophic consequences, Johnson's team tapped into the collective fear of instability and the threat of nuclear conflict. In an era when Americans were still haunted by the Cuban Missile Crisis, this message resonated deeply. The slogan positioned Johnson as the candidate who understood the dangers of the time and was committed to protecting the nation from the real threat of military escalation and nuclear war. Johnson's campaign also featured the famous Daisy ad, which aired only once but made a huge impact. The ad began with a young girl counting daisy petals, symbolizing innocence, before cutting to a countdown that ended in a nuclear explosion. Johnson then warned that a wrong vote could lead to disaster, linking his opponent, Goldwater, to risk and destruction. This ad showed how TV could use fear to sway voters, and it also set a trend for all future campaigns. In the 1964 election, Johnson's campaign used emotional appeals and television ads to win 61% of the vote and 486 electoral votes. His messaging made voters feel that the stakes were high, while Goldwater's hardline conservative stance, especially on nuclear policy, cast him as a risky choice. This contrast in style proved crucial. Johnson's approach showed that emotional connection and media imagery could be as persuasive as detailed policy debates. The campaign's success not only decided the election, but also shifted how future campaigns were run. Television and emotionally charged ads became key tools in American politics, redefining the role of the media and shaping public opinion. The 1964 election showed that techniques from that time still affect campaigns today. Johnson's strategy of using fear-based, emotionally charged ads has become common around the world. The election taught us that modern politics isn't just about facts or policies. It's also about connecting with voters on a personal, emotional level. When a nation is uncertain, a calm, reassured message can work better than extreme, fear-based rhetoric. This presidential election was more than just a contest between two candidates. It was a transformative moment in history of American politics. Johnson's campaign not only secured a decisive victory, but also redefined the art of political persuasion. Through the careful crafting of slogans like "the stakes are too high for you to stay at home" and the groundbreaking use of television advertising exemplified by the Daisy ad, Johnson demonstrated that emotional appeal and media influence could be just as powerful as policy when it came to winning votes. The lessons from this election continue to influence modern political campaigns, reminding us that the power of messaging and the strategic use of media are essential components in the art of political persuasion.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
These are the stakes. To make a world in which all of God's children can live, or to go into the dark. We must either love each other or we must die.
Vote for President Johnson on November 3rd. The stakes are too high for you to stay home.